welcome to part 1 of our new Millie Marotta colour along. So as you would have noticed, I started this in my comparison video for my new Derwent ProColour pencils that I've gotten. So I'll say the colours that I've used. So the shadow colour that I've used is an Imperial Purple number 26 from the Derwent ProColour. And then the next colour I've used is Derwent ProColour Magenta number 21. So those are the two colours I've used here, and then I've got one more colour that I want to come in with for this part of the fish, and yeah, be great. I was just looking, I just noticed this fin's kind of similar but not similar, so yeah, all good. So next we want to come in with a Derwent ProColour Heather number 23. And we want to colour that over all these previous colours and up into the tips of our fishy. So this is slightly changing the colour, but it doesn't matter, we kind of want it this way. I feel like a bit of a clumsy klutz at the moment because I'm tired. So yeah. So I was considering using a brighter pink, but I kind of decided not to for this little bit. And I've got to bring these down here, trying not to go over all our other areas. And we'll come up into those final areas once we've blended these all in together. So the pink might have blended, like it's blending in well, but the pink might have blended in the colours a bit closer, but I kind of still wanted that magenta colour to stay out, and the pink kind of changed the colour of the magenta, so that's why I went with our heather instead. So I'm just going to pause for a minute there and work out where I want to go to next and our next colours. And yeah, I will see you shortly. I'll probably continue with this flower, but I just want to work out the other colours that I want to use in it and yeah, go from there. So I will see you soon. So hey everyone, we're back. We're gonna keep going with this with our Derwent ProColour pencils. So I'm thinking, and Lily's just decided to walk out the minute I start recording again. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is do this part in like our pinky tones and then do some purpley tones in here and a pinky tones out here around the flower. So I think that's what I'm going to start with right now. We're still using our Derwent ProColour pencils. And we're using a Crimson Lake number 14 to start with. And I'll just be a minute, I've got to tie my hair up, so otherwise it's going to be in the way. So I'll be back in a minute. Sorry about that. We're back anyway. And I'm really loving doing these. Excuse the squeaky chair. But yeah, I'm really loving doing these videos. So we're going to start with our Crimson Lake number 14. And what we want to do is, because our light source is coming from this way, we're going to bring this in down here and kind of around the shadow of our flower and up here around the shadow where the boundary between our fishy is. And then we're going to come down following we're pretty much, even with our light sources, we're following a bit of the shadow of the flower because we kind of want that dimension or shadow there. And we'll be adding another colour over that as we go. Some areas of course won't have so much of the colours in it, but as usual. I'm really loving doing this. It's awesome and so much fun, and yeah, I love it. It really means a lot to me. And this won't be staying the reddish tone that you see here. It'll be changing as we go. There goes Lily back to her bed again because I'm doing stuff here and can't pay attention. So we just want to follow the little outlines of our shadows, but also on this one we're going to kind of bring it along the edges of the fish. Same for this one here. We want to bring it a bit along there. Probably didn't necessarily need to bring it around that bottom area, but nah, it's there. And then we're also going to bring a bit of this in, I think, to this center area here. I'm just kind of working out a bit how I want it to go because I've got our light sources coming from sort of this direction. So I think I'm going to go a bit like sort of slowly build it higher kind of thing, and then lower it going by the shape of the little petal in here. And we'll do our light source of course after I've done this bit. And we want to do a bit of our little light shadow area to keep that sort of dimension going. And we're going to do that all along each of these. So this one might start around the same height as the other one, and then we're going to work up. And I added the light area in then too on that one, but I'll probably do it all at once for the rest of them. I just really love doing this. I feel so happy whenever I'm doing my colouring stuff, even when I'm tired and I'm doing it. I love it, and I love doing my art stuff. And I'm looking forward to doing like the tutorial with Joanna Basford's Magical Jungle, showing you how to do the leaves and stuff like that. I might try and do that before we go to the next part, but I've got a few other parts that I also want to add in next or first, like the Medusa. I want to do a Medusa part after this if I can, and I also want to do like some work back around on our rotation kind of thing, because I'm going to be busy for the next few days, so I'm trying to get enough ready for whilst I'm busy, so that things are going up regularly, because I love having things going up every day on this channel. It's fun! And I feel so happy doing that, because then there's regular content and regular stuff for everyone to use and colour along with, and yeah. Even if it is speed colourings or whatever, but then you've got a choice between either doing the speed colouring or between doing real-time colouring, or following the real-time colouring part of it. So it all works, at least I feel it does. And there we go. So next we want to bring in our Derwent ProColour Cerise Pink number 20. We want to bring that over all of that reddish sort of colour. Allow it just to come in here. I'm trying to do this a little bit, work around like sections, so you're not rubbing the colour off too much as you go as well with your hands. And I think I'm actually going to finish filling this in with the Cerise Pink for these parts of the fish, because of the fact there isn't much space around those flowers. I just need to adjust the paper behind it. There we go. And then for this part here, we want to just follow like our directions for the pink, adjusting the height, but we want to leave space for a white because we're going to finish this off with the white for this center one. And we're going over every colour again too. And I might add a bit of a purplish shadow or something in around some of these bits just to make a bit more depth, because looking at it, like, they don't have quite as much depth as I want, so I might add a bit more depth in once we got this part done, I'm thinking. Like, not this purple flower bit, I think it's got enough, but with these reddy pinks I think it just needs a bit of depth into it. And I think I'll work on that after we get these parts done. All these reddish parts done. Might add in a violet or something, I'm thinking. Something slightly darker, but that's not going to totally take away from the red, because I'm thinking black might be a little dark. But considering we're going with the 36 set pencils, we're going to have to sort of work around this because we don't have our 72 plus like usual. But we'll work it out. Just looking at something quickly. Yeah, lucky this deluxe one's only a one set page, because you can see a bit of the shadows behind the page with the paper. I'm just going to quickly try the card again and see if that works or not, because I'm noticing there's some sort of dint lines coming into it. I'm not sure if that's from the paper sort of slipping and sliding underneath each other, which is highly possible. But I'm also wondering if this will help sort of, I guess, stop so much of that shadow sort of thing showing through the page. It might not. I haven't actually noticed that happening in the Millie's book before, so yeah. I'm just going to be 1 minute. I just want to look at something and then I'll be back. So we're back. So yeah, I was just looking. It doesn't seem to have bubbled with any of the other images at the back, so maybe it's the way I'm pressing or doing the layers, I'm not sure. But you can sort of tell on the back where this shadow, where I've been working on this part of the fish, so I'm not sure if it's the way I'm pressing or what. But yeah, okay. I guess not necessarily interesting, but kind of like, damn it, kind of thing. And I think what I'm going to do before I bring in the white, because I'm not going to so much bring in the white on these outer areas, I'm just going to bring in a bit of our Imperial Purple number 26 around the outsides of these flowers, just to bring in some shadows. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's the way, maybe it's the way I'm pressing or the way I'm turning my hand, I'm not sure. But with this one, I guess it's not so bad because it's only it's a kind of like I guess a one-page spread because there's nothing on the back. So still kind of makes me wonder what is causing it though. Is it something I do because it doesn't always happen, or is it something that's going on with it? I don't know. And then also what we're going to do, we're going to bring in a bit of our, I think I'm going to bring in some of our Cerise Pink, and we just want to use that to try and blend in a bit of that purple edging. But it's not like I'm pressing that hard either, so I'm kind of confused. And then what we want to do is bring in a Chinese white number 72. And actually, before we do that, I'm actually going to bring in our Imperial Purple number 26. And we just want to add a bit of shadows around this base sort of area. We do. And I'm just trying to be a bit light with bringing this in, but it's also, I guess, having so many layers also on there, it's affecting it a bit too. Whoops, I just went over a spot. Yeah, I wonder if it's to do with the way I'm holding my hands, sort of trying to go around these areas. I'm not sure. Now what we want to do is bring in our Chinese white number 72, and we want to bring that all the way sort of up here. I'm gonna bring in quickly, I just want to quickly bring in us some Cerise Pink in these little areas, just little light shadows in where these light sort of spots sort of bits are. But it's funny that this is happening now when I haven't had it happen any other time in this book, so I'm kind of not sure. So yeah, we're bringing in our Chinese white again, and we just want to bring that over everything. We do. Sorry, I was getting a bit of a cramp in my hand. I just need to pause for a minute because of a hand cramp, so I'll be back in a minute. So we're back. So I was just having a bit more of a look at the other pieces, and I discovered it's not like it's major bubbling or anything. I'd say it's just from basically colouring the piece kind of thing, and hopefully it'll flatten out a bit with time, because I actually discovered the kingfisher or heron or whatever it is behind this actually has some of that, but it's not really noticeable because it's basically flattened out from when the book was closed. So I guess it's not so much of an issue, but it's not like those pages where I can't colour the back pages because of whatever's bubbled or whatever. But I'm happy to know that I guess it's kind of not the only area that kind of has a bit of that. So it kind of makes me feel better that it's happened with other materials too. I guess I'm worrying too much. I've just got to enjoy it and relax, and rather than stressing over little things like that, just make the most of it, enjoy, relax, and just colour to how I like to do things. I guess it's just this one, it's not an issue because you've got the what is it, you've got the blank back of the page, but on the other books that this happens in, it's kind of like you can't do the back images because of the fact that it's kind of bubbled and stuff like that. So that's kind of why I freak out when it happens. There's some books, because I've had double copies, I've actually removed the book that's had the bubbled ones and intend to start fresh in new ones without those issues. So yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is basically continue with these 6 colours for the whole fish, and I think that's pretty much how I'm going to work on this. Just do these 6 colours on the whole fish, and then use other colours on the other fish, which I haven't decided yet. but we're nowhere near the other fish. So we're going to come back in with our Imperial Purple, and because I made the mistake in here, we're actually going to just bring in our Imperial Purple in these areas if we can. We want to try and leave it a bit of light source area up to where our light source goes or comes from. We just want to do a light shading of purple up on those top areas before we come in with our white in this spot. Now we want to come in with our Chinese white, number 72, and we want to just go over those little circle spots. I'm sort of even considering I may just do these on a black background. I may. Now what we want to do is, because I think I'm gonna do the purples in the circle areas, I'm actually going to bring our Imperial Purple. Hang on, I need to try and swap the position of the book. That might have been easier for the whole thing if it had been this way. Oh well, what's done's done. I'm gonna bring a bit of our Imperial Purple around these bead areas too, because of the fact that they would be creating some shadow. They would. And also along these stripe areas, and then we want to add a bit of our little light shadow areas in if we can. And for this one, we're just going to do it on the one side for this purple here, so that we have room for a bit of a second colour. Same with here, we're just going to bring it down here. Then what we want to do is come in with our Magenta, number 21. And we want to bring that up to fill in these areas. We do. And I think for either side, for the stripe on this side, we're just looking, I think I'm going to do our Imperial Purple stripe along here. We also want to have it along the bottom there if we can, and try and just have a little bit of a light area of our Imperial Purple around that stripe. And also on this side, and we'll probably do all the stripes like this. We're going to have it, depending on the colours we do for certain areas, but we're going to have our Imperial Purple stripe coming down here too. And what we want to do with that is then bring in our magenta number 21, and we want to go all over that purple stripe. And then just trying to decide what I kind of want to do these colours here, because I think I'm going to stick with the same sort of colours, but I think I'm going to do with our tones, and I'm just going to swap the position again to look at these. So I think what I'm going to do first is add in a bit of Imperial Purple just where our sort of little shadow areas meet, so along these spots here where any of our sort of little circle areas would be meeting. And we're probably going to change the different lines for different shadows, but I just want to create some of our shadows because our Imperial Purple's kind of our darkest colour out of these 6, so we want to try and create our shadows with it. We do. Oops. Kind of a shadowed area over that little spot there. And now we want to add in a little bit of our purple along these areas here too, where the line sort of joins. And a little bit, we're starting with our light shadows as well, our light sources. Or our, not our light shadows, but our little blending variation. I'm just going to put a little bit of shadow along the fin here too. We are. Getting a lot of hand cramps today. There we go, there's that. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go along in certain areas. I'm going to add our magenta, and we're going to add it every sort of second area, leaving a gap in the sort of the center. And we want to add a little bit of our light area, so every sort of second area. Leaving little areas in between for our final colour once we get to it. Some of these areas will be sort of finished areas without so much light in them because of the small gap in the area, but it sort of gets wider as it goes. It does. So as you'll notice, I'm leaving a bit in the center for our final colour. And I'm also doing a little light area so that we've got our easier blending area as well. And that's our magenta. Now what we want to do is come in with our Crimson Lake, number 14, and on the opposite ones we want to add our Crimson Lake into them. We do, including the bottom purple shadow bits. And I'm actually quite liking that bit of red there, so I might just leave it as red with the white when we bring our white bit in. So that was one of those mostly shadowed areas. So I'm actually, oh, there's one more spot. I'm actually going to pause it here though, and we'll come in with our last colour once I've paused it, so we'll be back shortly. So we're back. So I've decided what I'm going to do is swap between a couple of colours for the next thing. I'm thinking I'm going to end up blending the red in with our pinky tone again. But first we want to come in with our heather, number 23. And we want to bring that in over where our magenta areas are. So this is kind of creating our light area where our magentas are, where our magenta stripe is. And I've got dog hair sitting on that somewhere. There's a spot I've missed just here with our reddish colour. So that's sorted now. Next we want to go in with our Cerise Pink where our reddy tones are. We want to add that in as our final colour in those areas, going over all areas with that colour. So even the stripes that are sort of in shadows, as much as possible. I might have missed some with my other colour, but what happens happens. No, I ended up deciding not to use the white that I was thinking of using because I realised it would kind of dull out these. Like, I don't mind paling out the colours, but I didn't necessarily want the colours paled out in this part. So that's why I decided to just go with the bright colours instead, or the brighter colours. And it's not like you can't still see bits of the red anyway. It's not. One thing I'm noticing with the ProColour pencils, and as usual with all pencils, different pencils seem to work differently on different papers. But I still really love them. I really do. Oops, I missed some spots with the heather. So we're just coming back with our heather in this spot that we've missed some. And then we want to come back with our Cerise Pink into this spot again. Okay, that's done. So now we're just going to swap position of the book again and move those around. And then what I want to do is come in with our Imperial Purple, and I want to bring that down this inner edge again like I did with the other sides, and try and leave some space for our Magenta. Just here, we'll just do it, fill in this one here too, since we'll probably be colouring this next. And then we want our Magenta number 21, and we want to bring that over all those little areas. Now I'm just thinking with this one, do I want more reds in this section or do I want more purples? I'm thinking because we got the purple stripe, I might go with more reds and then do the purpley tones in the leaf, I'm thinking. So we're going to come in with our Imperial Purple, number 26, and we just want to bring that into these leaves and trying to leave a little bit of our blending shadow area, because we're going to try and get two colours into this if we can. We are. And then what I think I'm going to do is actually come in with a white, I think, in those little leaf areas. I am so Chinese white number 72. And what I think I'm going to do is, just so that we've got a bit of our Imperial Purple in the shadows, we want to bring this just up a bit on this side, but trying not to take over our little leaf sort of areas, because we don't want to completely take away from those as we add the other colours in. We don't. And then we want to add a bit of a light shadow area to allow for easier blending between them. We do. And then I think I'm going to come in with my Crimson Lake number 14. And I want to bring that out so that you're seeing a bit of that colour tone come out. We do. We're just adding in some sort of light shadow areas with our Crimson Lake. Then next we want to come in with our Cerise Pink, and we want to bring that out past these areas, but also over those previous colours with the reds and the purples, and we do. And then I think lastly, I think I'm gonna bring in, no, I think I'm gonna finish that spot with the pink actually. So with our Cerise Pink, we're gonna finish off this little area here. There we go. Then I think I might try and do this one last little bit here, and then we might leave it at that for this part. We might. But I think what I'm going to do for this part, other than we're going to bring our Imperial Purple number 26 down this stripe here. And we want to bring in our Magenta number 21. We want to bring that in along this tail stripe. I may try and finish the tail, I don't know. We'll work it out, but I may finish it with this little part here. But then we want to bring in our Imperial Purple number 26, and I'm actually going to spot the book around here for a minute to do that. I'm just checking it's properly focused, which it is, and I'm just going to pause for a minute because the battery's about to die, so I'll be back in a minute. So we're back, battery's changed. So what I want to do with this last bit is bring in our Imperial Purple number 26 in all these bottom areas as sort of skinny as I can, but it's not going to be that skinny, so I'm just going to do a lightish kind of line along them. I am, so that our blending and that happens properly. We're going to sort of take advantage of these black lines that are already drawn in the book to do so. I mean, what I'm going to do for something a bit different is, rather than bringing in the magenta, I'm actually going to bring in our Cerise Pink number 20, and we just want to colour that over these areas, and hopefully it'll show more of the pink above where the purple lines don't go. Well, hopefully it will, because that's why I did it light, so that it would be blended easier and not have definite lines in there. So now what I'm going to do for this final part, because of where our light shadows source is coming from, I'm actually going to work it, since it's sort of coming from this angle, I'm going to actually use our Imperial Purple number 26 again, and I'm actually going to bring it around. I'm not going to put too much of the shadow. I'm not going to put the shadow where this line ends, but we do want to bring it around and to the tips of these shadows, as well as a little bit of a light area for allowing for ease of blending. We do. Yep, you can all see that. So I hope you're enjoying this anyway. I'm actually really liking how it's coming out using only the 6 colours for this fish with the patterns. It's actually really interesting, and it makes you kind of stop and think about how to do things so that it looks unique and interesting with the limited colours. And the fact that with the 36 set, it's good because of the fact that, well, you don't have the huge range of colours, but it kind of makes you think more because you do only have a limited range of colours. So you kind of have to think and make a decision based on the limited colours that you have. And I'm kind of enjoying that as well. Now what we want to do is I'm going to swap the position again. And I've somehow ended up with cotton wool on the end of the book. What I want to do is come in with the magenta, number 21. And we kind of want to bring that around and up from that purple. And we'll do our light areas once we get our magenta area done. Sorry if I bumped that then. I'm just going to add in a little light purple sort of area in some of these for the ones that we've done. And we'll keep going. We're just adding in our little light areas as we go for these final bits because what we've done. And then our last colour for this part is our Heather, number 23, and we just want to bring that over all the rest of the colours and finish off our colours in that spot with our Heather. Oops, I just went over the edge. That wasn't my aim. And now I'm gonna do the last bit here, which is these little areas in between the tail, and I'm just gonna do the red around here with the light shading, or our Crimson Lake around here, number 14. I'm actually thinking now that I think I'm going to work on a lot of the Medusa snakes off camera, just because it's easier to do that, because there's a lot of repetitive things there and the patterns and stuff are really confusing me as to which snake body goes where. So I think I'm going to take the time to do that off camera, and then I'll bring it back on camera once I've got the majority of the snake's bodies done. So it's not going to be finished. It will be finished. It's just, I'm thinking with how confusing it can kind of be, working out where all the snakes go and all of that, I'm going to be better off doing that off camera so that I can sort of focus and get it done, and then bring it back on camera once those bits are done. So that's kind of my decision with that now, and I'll just work around the other pieces, and I'll bring that one in once I've gotten to that point. And I'll still keep Facebook and Instagram and everything updated as to my progress with the Medusa head. So yeah, last colour we want to come in with is a Cerise Pink, number 20, and we just want to bring that over all of these colours from the tail fin, which it's not going to show up that much because of how much space the red took up, but yeah. And we'll probably bring in a bit of our purple lines around it too in a mini. So maybe it's not quite our last colour yet. And then we want to bring in our Imperial Purple, number 26, and we just want to sort of trace some lines around the outer areas of our fishies, kind of fins, I guess you could say. Trying not to go over those spaces like I've done with some things, but I guess we can only do what we can do. And then last colour, well, the Cerise Pink, number 20, is our last colour in the end. So it kind of is our last colour, but we just want to blend that over those lines to try and blend them in a bit and make it sort of work, because some have sort of gone further out than I want them to be. So I'm just going to try and blend it in and make it all work that way. But this one isn't blending in as well as I'd like it to. I'm just quickly going to use a little bit of our crimson. No. Our Imperial Purple will fill it in a bit. Yeah, that works. And then just a little bit of our Cerise Pink. over there. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that for this part. I really hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you next time when we continue with this part. Bye.